Hey guys, welcome to the Professional Development Podcast. Today is episode 87. We got a lot of things we're going to cover. Roe vs. Wade, Dave Chappelle, BMI and sexual performance, the Fed announcing rate hikes, and then probably a couple other things. But you guys got anything in your life, in your business, anything going on?
Sal has something that he wants to say, it looks like.
It's playoff hockey, bro. Go Blues.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it is playoff hockey.
Fuck
No,
Wild.
nothing. I mean, shoot, it's just been, April was nonstop travel for me, and I'm excited for that to be done for now. So, yeah. How about you guys?
I don't have a lot going on other than work, too. It took me like all of last week to kind of dig out from vacation, which I'm sure you guys are feeling a little bit right now. So it's kind of good to like, now I feel like this week's back to normal. Everything's cruising and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm getting used to hangovers and being bloated. There's so much fucking alcohol and shitty food taken in over this past weekend. By the time I think it was Monday rolled around, I had like a Zoom meeting, and it was just like, I guess all of that sodium, like my water retention, like my eyes were like swollen like a motherfucker because it just wasn't used to it, and I got called out on a Zoom meeting for it.
I'm like completely used to that.
Yeah,
Lots of sodium, junk food. Yeah, I can handle that.
That's just regular.
I didn't have a drinking problem coming back from Florida as far as just feeling hungover, but I did decide to keep my eating shitty food habit going, and I decided to pick up Dairy Queen on Monday, and I was like, all right, Tuesday I'll be back.
Oh,
on
dude,
track.
Monday, as soon as I landed, $21 worth of Taco Bell for lunch. And I say lunch, I think I actually got there at like 10 a.m. So,
Shoot, Vogler went straight to drinking Bloody Marys with his mom.
animal.
Really?
Yeah.
And then he was drinking at volleyball that night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Degenerates of St. Louis.
Right. So to go off that, we'll start with some of the lighter stuff first. I don't know if you guys, so I guess you guys didn't see this. So there's a Drake on Twitter. So there's a random troll went after Drake. Short of the long is Drake then followed his wife and then DM'd her and then slid in her DMs. It's kind of a fucking statement.
Does Drake have
I love that.
girlfriend or anything like that?
I don't know.
So he was like, does he have a kid?
Yeah,
He
he's
does.
a kid.
So he was like hanging out or like trying to mac on like one of his like son's like basketball moms. I remember seeing they were like at the Lakers game and stuff like that. But I do think that's like the ultimate move is like to go follow some dude's wife or girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then slide in their DMs
Dude,
and be like, hey,
Jake Paul
look up.
did that.
Did he really?
Yeah, Jake Paul did it to Conor McGregor. Because Jake Paul follows no one, and every once in a while he'll follow like one person, and he followed Conor McGregor's wife. And you could see like however many followers that dude has, which is probably like 14 million or something, and then following McGregor's wife.
Which that's also weird too. Because Conor McGregor and his wife must just have like an open relationship or something, right? Because I feel like Conor McGregor is macking on everybody else's wife.
No idea.
I don't think so.
No?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Sal, do you know?
Which one?
Are you listening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading up on the Drake thing, see what exactly.
Okay, good.
Does
At least you were doing
McGregor
something
mac on
related to
other
the
dudes'
podcast.
wives?
McGregor?
Yeah. Or am I just completely wrong?
He'll like talk shit about it. I don't know if he actually does it though.
Yeah.
Part of his persona, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
but
I love-
like bravado.
I love the Drake move. Not a huge Paul fan, and plus McGregor would beat the fuck out of him. So but like there's so many.
They're talking about fighting though.
They are. Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, so for the Drake thing, I think the guy was trolling his son. That's what he
No,
responded back with that.
He was trolling him. It was something like somebody made a post where it was like standing up for dads that get mouthy in basketball games, like stand up and speak for his sons. And Drake was like, it's like a rite of passage, like that, OGs stand up and say something. If your kid's in a baseball game, basketball game, doesn't matter. And then he said something about, I bet your son, what was it?
Probably plays with
Ghostwriters. Yeah, probably plays with ghostwriters because that was Drake's thing. But there's a lot of Twitter tough guys out there, so I'm all for like, hey, do something about it.
His exact comment on there is, I just followed your girl because she prop miserable and needs some excitement in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Champagne Poppy.
Yep. So what do we want to? I guess we gotta like at least address the Roe versus Wade deal. Brad, I know you had that on.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I'm usually the most outspoken person, but I'm not that outspoken and ballsy to like really dive in and give my opinion on it. But there was a leaked document of a draft that the Supreme Court's going to take a look at the Roe versus Wade. The only opinionated stuff I'll say is that I find it very interesting of the timing that it was leaked, as we're like kind of starting to lean into midterms and obviously there's a big divide on that. And as a father, when you go in for that first ultrasound and you have no idea what a kid even is, and you hear that heartbeat for the first time, it definitely changes your opinion about everything. So I feel like it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. I think a lot of people get really like turned up over it. All it's really going to do is like bring it back to the state level for decisions, which will mean that more conservative states are probably going to ban it. You know, more liberal states are going to allow you to do it. I just think it's interesting of when it happened, and it was ruled on in 1973. So this has been 50 years basically, and now we're having have it be revisited. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I honestly haven't read too much about it. So yeah, I'll kind of reiterate a little bit of what you said. It's like we're a podcast, 5 people who have dicks. So probably the last person you should listen to when weighing in about any of this. But one thing I did want to say is if something were to happen, right, and they were to like tighten up on women's abilities to get abortion, I think if that's going to happen, there needs to be something, and I don't know what, I'm not versed enough politically, something needs to happen for male accountability, for men's accountability and part in that if that's going to happen, because like there's a huge problem with like fatherless children or homes with fatherless children. And I was like just looking up some basic stats, and it was saying the U.S. Department of Justice shows children from fatherless homes account for 90% of all homeless and runaway children, 63% of youth suicides, 71% of high school dropouts, and 75% of adolescent patients that have substance abuse. So it's just, and people could go on and on about this. So I'm just saying, if there is something, that's the one opinion I will say that things should be tightened up on.
And I think there should be, I don't want to go too deep, but there should be exceptions for certain items, such as if somebody's raped, if there's a serious medical condition that's going to affect the mother and the child. Like I said, like you just said, I got a dick. So I feel like I shouldn't be like, don't listen to anything I say. But it does need to be addressed because it is a very big issue on both sides of the table. And the last thing I'll say is the same people who were telling us that we needed to have mandates for vaccinations are now the ones saying, you know, my body, my choice. So it's just, where's the hypocrisy there? So that's all I'm gonna say.
This is one of those things too where it's like I steer so far away from. I've always kind of leaned being like the pro-choice because it's like I'm just like I think that women should choose, right?
Yeah, I'm there.
It makes sense that they should be able to make that choice, and then but like you said, Brad, too, there's moments where shoot, as a father, you hear that heartbeat and your life has changed forever after that, and thinking of. I had a buddy that would always say like, man, I don't know if I got a girl pregnant, what if that's one of the next U.S. senators? And he would say shit like that all the time. And I was always like, yeah, I hope I never have to deal with that kind of stuff. So
I think that's a dumb analogy.
It's
fucking stupid.
he's a weird dude.
Oh.
But it's like, why not like the next basketball player or something like that? Something cooler at least. Like, who cares about the senator? Just gonna be some old white dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a huge take on anything like this other than
Sure.
We'll see what happens. I think it's another thing to divide people. Honestly, is what it is.
That's what I think. I think timing wise, it's like, go figure. Like we just get over something huge, and now we just randomly this leaked document comes out just to divide the country even further. So that's what I thought was messed up about the whole deal.
Right. So we will move on to that. So there was a couple of things. The Fed announced its interest rate hikes. Did you guys see that?
I did. So I've been paying a lot of attention to this. So basically what they're saying is they raised it 50 basis points today.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was today they actually raised it 50 basis points. Yeah. So that's half a percent. That's half a percent. They were talking that they were going to raise it another 75, so another 0.75% in June. So I personally have a theory on this. With everything that's going on with inflation, that's why they're trying to curb the interest rates to try and bring inflation back down. The issue is Q1 just came back that the GDP numbers were like 1% in the negative. So if there's 2 quarters in a row where our GDP is down, that means we are in what they call an official recession. Like by definition, 2 quarters in a row with a negative GDP is a recession. So what I think is going to happen.
Cheat the system.
Yeah. So basically, the Fed's in a really weird spot right now because they have to balance interest rates with inflation, and now our GDP is dropping. So it's going to be interesting how it shakes out. And I did read just before I came that the 75-point hike that they were talking about in June, they've already backed down and said that 75 basis points probably isn't going to happen, but they may do a 50. So I personally think that this is where it's going to stay. I don't think we're going to raise interest rates again. So write it down. We'll see what happens. But that's what I think.
Yeah, and this is a subject I'm not too familiar on, but how it affects me is going to be the real estate side. So I guess the idea, or one of the big ideas was that since housing prices have gone up 30% over the last 2 years, they're hoping that by doing this, it's going to bring that down. So it's going to raise interest rates.
Yeah.
It's going to raise interest rates on houses. So higher mortgage rates equal higher borrowing costs for buying a house, meaning obviously less people are going to buy houses. So the pricing could go down. And that's how I always typically see it, right? Really low interest rates shoots up the pricing of houses. Higher interest rates shoots down. I don't know. To me, it feels like it might net out a little bit, but what they're saying now is rates are already rising faster than they have since 1994 for interest rates for housing.
Yep.
It was at 3% in January. It's already at 5%, which is a 4-month swing. So for those of you who don't own a house, like for the average house, that's going to be an increase $440 per month for a house just by that 2% increase.
And I think that's like crazy to think about. It's just 2%. And usually I think on a lot of mortgages is like you pay your interest first for a decent chunk of time.
Yep.
So that sucks.
Nothing but interest.
Nothing but interest.
Yep.
I did see, to piggyback off what you said, Matt, is that they're forecasting that if interest rates hit 7%, there could be the housing prices will drop by 40%. So I'm just thinking here, like I was looking for a house just recently and like we kind of backed off because it was like, first of all, it's a full-time fucking job trying to find a house. It's such a like market right now that it's like impossible to even like get in the door. So I'm just thinking like, what about all these people who are buying houses right now that in 6 months, their house could be devalued by 40%. Like that'd be a tough nut to crack. I'm sure over the course of time of owning it, that it'll work itself out. But it's just, there may be people that get into a position right now that they're way too deep into that we could see another housing crisis.
Well, they go upside change. He's like, but he doesn't ever think like prices will actually really drop on what houses cost right now. It's just kind of what has happened and with inflation and it'll probably stay that way and might stagnate, but he doesn't think it's going to go down.
And I agree with that. I mean, you can like just look at the course of U.S. home prices. Like it's just a straight line headed upwards. Mm-hmm. But and the inflation, rewards the borrower. So, I mean, right now, if you're borrowing money for 5%, but inflation's 11%, you're not doing too bad.
Yeah.
So,
right. You're beating the odds there. Did you guys see Dave Chappelle got tackled on stage in one of his like he was doing stand-up comedy on stage and somebody came up and tried spearing him?
Yeah, I saw that. And then they tackled him down. Apparently the dude had a knife. And then apparently Crystal Rock was there. He walks up and was like, oh, I thought that was Will Smith.
I didn't. Wait, he had a knife?
Yeah, the dude
I didn't know that he had a knife.
Apparently had a knife in his possession.
Oh, didn't know that. Yeah, so I saw it. It was like he was sitting there on stage. Some guy tried to spear him. He gets up, and when he gets up, there's like just a mob of people that tackled this dude. And he got back on, like grabbed the microphone, like as they pulled this dude off stage. And goes, wait, I want to see this. And so like ran off to see what's happening. You can hear him go like, stomp him. And then somebody was talking. They were like, yeah, I feel like he was channeling his old Rick James flashbacks from the Chapelle show.
Well, there was a video of the guy afterwards, and I have no idea if this was a real video or not, but the dude's arm looked straight up
It's like
it
dangling.
was.
Man.
If your elbow is supposed to be here, it was like this. Like when Willis McGahee back in the Ohio State Miami football game, where his knee got flipped completely backwards, is what his arm looked like.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
It was like Busta Rhymes, Jamie Foxx, all these guys beating the fuck out of this
Yeah,
dude.
apparently, like both his wrists were like broken. Like obviously, it looks like more than that was happened. And then the last thing he said, he got back on, and you know how like he's like he was real hot like a few months ago because of like his controversy over the trans
He
community.
brought that up.
So he got back on the mic and goes, "It was a trans man."
Jesus.
And so that brought up a good question. It's like, all right, would you rather get your ass beat by a trans man or a trans woman? If you had to pick, like one or the other. So would you rather?
Trans woman for sure.
So you, a man that converted to a woman?
Yeah, for sure. Because then it's like, I thought she was a woman. I didn't want to hit her.
Yeah. But no, this is just like you get your ass beat. Like,
I know.
nothing-
I would take the ass beating.
You would
At
take the
least I
ass
know
beating?
it. I would know deep down it was actually a dude, but I could sell it as I thought I didn't want to hit a girl.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go the other way. I think I would go a trans woman. Even though it's a woman biologically, like I feel like at least you've got the excuse with this chick's being fucking pumped with testosterone. You know what I mean? Like there's, like I guess that would be my take. I think it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
No matter
Either
what,
way, yeah, getting your ass beat is definitely wouldn't be a fun thing to have happen. But yeah, I don't know. That'd be a toss up. I think I would just see that person as whoever they are and see whether it's a guy or a girl that kicked my ass. That'd be a bummer either way. Hopefully, I can file some charges.
That was such a politically correct answer.
Gender fluid conversations.
Yeah. Brad, you want to get into?
Yeah. So researchers in Turkey did a year-long study on BMI and sexual performance. So what it says is men with a higher BMI last on average 7.3 minutes. So I wish Dan was here to tell us about his 45 minutes to an hour. We can find out what his BMI is. But men who are leaner hardly make it to 108 seconds. So my question is, dad bod or fit bod?
So, I mean, I'm just gonna hop in and like say this: we've all been there before, right? We've all been what they're claiming the lean guys have, right? Now, not
Like every night.
right?
Like every night.
Every night,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't matter who you are, and there's a lot of contributing factors that go into that, right? But here's why I do believe it. It makes sense
Because you're lean.
because, like I said, we've all been there. You know, I'm not gonna act like it's never happened to me. Yeah, but getting a boner is all about blood circulation, right? If your body fat's super high and it's got to pump so much to keep your vital organs, it probably doesn't give too much of a fuck about your dick, right? You know what I mean? I feel like that just like makes sense biologically. Am I wrong here?
I mean, if you're going scientific with this, then yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it makes sense. But I mean, like you said, I wish Dan was here to say if he thinks that's the reason why or if he thinks he's just like genetically different. Should we ask his dad?
Oh, yeah. See, compare notes. So the thing that interested me about it, I'm not to think about people's dicks too much, how long they last, but is like in my course of like working out, not working out, I haven't seen a drastic time difference. So that's where I'm like seeing like, I don't know how true this research is.
Right.
I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to conduct some sort of study where we all go get our measurements and we all see what our BMIs are and then we start tracking what our time is. We just hit that stopwatch.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
I mean, also like if you're going in with a loaded gun, you're for sure cutting it at least in half.
Right. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. You gotta. Yeah. 100%. You gotta kind of warm up the oven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, side note, the bigger guys are more likely to get ED because of that and not getting up, right? Isn't that a fact? I didn't Google that.
I don't know.
I just assumed it. Just assume it's a fact.
It seems like it can make sense.
Just assume
yeah.
that it's a fact. Okay. It makes sense. Last, BMI is bullshit. So,
So now we're twisting the science again.
well, no. So this is 100% a fact. BMI is bullshit because all it uses is your weight and your height.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's all
yeah.
you factor in. So it can be accurate for people that are pretty overweight, but it's like for somebody like me, I'm 6'3", 205, and my score is a 25.6. 25 to 29 is considered overweight. 30 and above is
Fat
obese.
Matt's fat as fuck.
Yeah, fat ass.
Damn, guys. Been one fucking weekend.
That means I'm really fat. Because I'm like 6'2" and 205.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Now, again, if we
So
had
Sal
Dan here
lasts
to really
forever?
weigh in,
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
You want to talk about how long you last?
I don't want to talk about my BMI.
Well,
Way
what-
higher than yours.
We'll just track it based on how long you last.
Okay.
Rich, you're a pretty lean guy. But what kind of numbers you hitting these days?
I don't sit in bed. I'm not like you guys with a fucking stopwatch in bed. Oh, hold on, let me log this. Yeah,
He uses the app on his phone.
yeah.
You know though, the next time he's not gonna look at the clock and he's gonna be like, "Fuck, it was only 2 minutes."
There's so many other factors. What about foreplay? Like, shoot, man, you could get revved up. Just saying. It makes sense.
It's true.
Like, what are we going from insertion to completion, or are we going from the time that?
Yeah, that's the other thing that I
Time
wonder.
the pants drop? Are we talking dry humping here?
I literally always base it off penetration.
Yeah,
I mean,
all the
that
other
would
stuff
make
doesn't count.
sense. That would make sense.
It would make sense. That's the actual act of it. So, yeah, I feel like it's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Not that we want to stop too short,
You just want to get off.
but we also don't want to go too long.
I vote fit bod
You fit bud?
Fit bod, yeah. Duh.
for sure.
I don't know. I'm going dad bod.
Wait,
7 minutes.
So
is
wait,
a long time.
should we just ask this, right? Okay, you're either obese and you can go as long as you want, and we're talking obese.
this is a
or,
great
Or
question.
you're as jacked as you want to be. Literally, you could have any body that you want, but
You last
You
less
d-
than 2 minutes.
you last 100 seconds tops. Now,
Is
I know
it-
what Brad's going to say. Brad's a selfish motherfucker.
No, yeah. So I'm for sure.
if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, 100 seconds. You know how many times I can knock it out though? Like all day.
Yeah. I guess we didn't talk about that. You go again.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like,
As you get older, you don't reload quite as fast as you used to.
so,
It's a different ball game.
I would go, you know what? I'd go fit too. But also, it's like there's other ways. There's other ways you can help them out. You know what I mean?
Numbing cream.
What's that? Not yourself, no, them.
I
Bob's
don't-
sitting here Googling
How to last
How do
longer
I
if
make
you
it
have
work?
a fit body and you have a lower BMI.
Can you imagine the Google ads we're gonna see tomorrow?
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, so we will stop there. But yeah, guys, if you like our stuff, like it, share it, follow us on every major platform. If you have any questions, hit us on Instagram, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm just looking at Sal. Sal's just giggling.